This is Future Sight, a Warmachine and Hordes show covering games, events, theory, the meta and more. If you like what you hear, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content at KS Wargaming. Thanks and enjoy.
Cool.
Hello guys, right.
Hello.
We're
Hello.
Let's try and
Hello.
broadcast your actual cameras.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to Future Sight, and we're on with Adepticon and Skorne Master Matt McWaters. Well, Skorne Master, right, for that weekend.
Yeah.
As we just talked
I am the Masters winner of Adepticon. I don't know if I would call myself the Master of Skorne.
Well, it's like, you know, for the time, right? So welcome on. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dan, and I'm joined by my co-host Evan as usual. So thanks for joining us. And Matt, well done, mate. Caught one of the like the big ones back, right? Adepticon's been missing for like 3 years now, right? Is that about? Is it 3 years they had the break for?
Two.
It feels like 3. It feels like 4.
Yeah. So it feels like forever, to be honest. Like, I didn't leave my house for 2 years. So we had OTC. My local team won OTC. We're like, yeah, and then we got home, and they're like, you can't go outside ever again. And that was roughly 45 years ago. So
yeah, I saw Scott's OTC like tournament update, not the trophy update today, right? Put up of you guys.
Yeah.
Bin Pro Play.
Yeah. Two wins for Bin Pro Play now.
Before and after, and then a win in the middle of a COVID.
I mean, you don't want to give the credit, but begrudgingly you can't deny it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, welcome on the show, Matt. It's nice to talk to you again. Do you want to give us a quick intro, if you would, of who you are, if people don't know who you are already?
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a long time now, I guess, Warmachine player. I've had good experiences at conventions, been pretty successful overall. I play for Canada, WTC. I don't know. I'm a loud, obnoxious guy who talks shit. I don't know how to introduce myself. It's kind of a weird one.
That pretty much gets it right. Yeah, you
That'll do perfectly.
And then I guess like in pre-COVID, you probably like did the rounds, right? You'd go down to America for plenty of like the big cons. Make sure you were
dream
crushing and having fun.
Yeah, so for like 3 years, I would say I enjoyed doing the convention scene before COVID in North America. So I think 2017 was like my breakout year, if you would call it that, where I played Denegra 2 and just like dominated a lot of conventions with her. Won a few masters, won a few champions, got second and third, and like everything.
Was that Body and Soul, or was that pre-Body and Soul?
No. This is after. This is Mark 3.
Oh, was this Mark 3? Okay.
This is 2017.
I definitely remember listening to various podcasts at the time about your Denny plays with like Denny charges through everyone, hits some caster. Caster is now 3 inches in front of Nightmare. Good game. That sort of
Death Jack. I don't run Nightmare. I didn't run Nightmare. Yeah. So there's like Denny 2 was like, I had like 500 games with her after her update.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was like very unhealthy, and it was like the list was really fun, and ever since that I've been like perpetually looking for a list that's as engaging and like as like targeted on the meta and all that stuff as Denny 2 was, but you can't really, like, the way the game flows, nothing stays that targeted and good for long anymore.
Yeah.
So I play like less games with each caster, but more games overall, I guess.
Yeah. I think that
makes sense.
It's kind of nice though, right? I remember when I first started in Mark II, there was like that bit of stagnation where certain casters were just going to be oppressive for like so long, long.
Like Gatsby 2 for a good 6-7 years.
Yeah, there was Mark II, so like I wasn't like a big competitive player in Mark II, but I did play a lot, and I remember my first Steamroller I went to, my round one opponent played Gatsby 2 into me, and I was like, I don't know what this guy does. And he's like, you've lost the game then. Like, you have no hope of winning. And
I mean,
was
it's an obnoxious thing for him to say. He's not wrong, but it's a shitty thing to say.
Yeah. My round two opponent played Body and Soul into me, and
Oh, fuck's sakes. This was a rough tournament.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, okay, I guess, like, I don't want to play Warmachine anymore. That was really rough. And then my third round opponent played Chain Gang into me, and not that theme was, like, particularly good or anything, but, like, I was just like, oh, that's a lot of elephants. Okay, I guess I lose. And that was my, like, first Steamroller. It was pretty rough.
I find
that's
it
a trial by fire.
I find it really funny when like on like the Warmachine General thing, you occasionally see people pop up and they're like, I don't play the game anymore because Mark III is shit because of theme forces, and I'm like, you literally were playing in Mark II when, you know, Body and Soul was a thing, and Machinations of Shadow was in every Legion pair, and Elemental Evolution and Runes of War and all of these.
Yeah, Runes of War was fun though.
Yeah. But it was like you'd go to like a competitive event and like as a Legion player,
was just fucking horrible.
I
Jesus.
knew exactly what I was going to play against. If there was a Skorne player that I go up against, I'm like, well, I know your two lists. I don't even need to look at your cards. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, really? Was that a better version of Theme Forces where everyone had exactly the same thing constantly?
To be fair, To be fair, in Mark II, that was only like right at the end of Mark II where they started doing stupid things with theme forces.
I mean, there may not have been theme forces earlier on, but there might as well have been. Everyone was playing roughly the same list compositions, right? Like, as much as we're like, theme forces are so restrictive, it's like if you looked at like any top 8 from Mark II lists, all of the fucking top 8 lists were the same.
Yeah.
Like it was like, oh,
it was Haley 2, it was Gatsby 2, it was well, actually those variations on those two really.
Yeah, in Lilith too.
Oh, God, don't remind me. Yeah.
So let's move away from the dark days. Yeah, like I think now we've got like such like list diversity and like faction. Like, and that was the thing as well. Like there was super different. I think about Mark II and early Mark III is factions were either at the top or at the bottom. You know, there was the middle ground was a lot smaller, and it was your factions either winning a lot or was trash. Seemed to be like a lot of the popular opinion, whereas now I think that we said in the pre-show that I think there's like a lot less between everyone, which means like we're in a much better playing field.
Yeah, I go with that.
It's player skill and like how you build and the meta and all these things like come together to
it's just tool access is like the most important thing factions have, which is good. Like I think tool access is good, but each faction needs to have relevant tools for the meta, and what we have happen now especially is the meta is kind of like, I wouldn't say like resolved, like it's obviously changing over time, but we have like the big strong questions that require specific tools, and some factions just don't have those tools in good meaningful ways, and some lists ask questions that like as an example, Lilith 4 is a very big problem because her whole army's everything is relevance blessed. It ignores stealth, it ignores concealment, it ignores like every rule you care about that you normally use to protect yourself from guns. And factions like Skorne or Menoth or Signar and like the list goes on, their classical defensive tech just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I mean, doesn't it? It's like you can't protect yourself from Lilith's gun with shield guards, but like Menoth doesn't care about Ravagor guns. You've got shield guards coming out your ass.
What theme? Like, are you playing in Faithful Masses and you're paying 7 points for initiates that are only going to die? Like they don't have any killing power, so you're paying 20.
Two of them. Yeah, so take 2 of those units. You got 6 shield guards and that can deliver your jacks.
You have 1 turn of survival. Then those initiates die after that turn. And like the Lilith player doesn't lose anything for doing it because Menoth threats like 9 inches. So like
maybe
just like there is no like this is just good. Like the problem with the Lilith 4 is like as an outlier, she is a problem. She is a problem in that she asks a question so strongly and so specifically that some factions just don't have tools that answer it. And I'm not saying like she auto wins matchups or anything like that. It's just like as a Skorne player, what shooting tech do I have to answer Lilith 4? I have Artifice of Deviation on Jalam. That's the entirety of my my
that's your
faction.
tech.
That's the entirety of my tech that could
I
possibly.
guess, or just bricking other things in
Is
the way.
is the Kriya not enough?
Well, she ignores the Kriya.
Yeah, she takes a Naga, right? So.
Oh, you're taking a Naga, fine, yeah.
Yeah.
So
think,
she ignores the Kriya. So,
but like in a world where gun lines seem to be like absolutely back with the vengeance, and Lilith is just there at the top going, "Okay, cool. Have I got just a better gun line?" But,
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's nice. Della's in the chat is saying, "Leave his Lilith 4 alone." Yeah,
Leave Lily alone. I mean, I was so
player.
sad about Lily. I brought Lily out to play, and I walked headfirst into Crucible Guard, and having a gun line of flaming guns didn't help me a whole lot.
So that's
right.
That's just a hard counter, which I don't like.
Well, and now we get to the other thing in the meta that I think is a little bit over the top right now is Crucible Guard. So this is a good segue for my pairing, right?
That's an excellent segue and a good way to keep us on track. Good call.
So my pairing was specifically made with beating Crucible Guard and Lilith 4. Like, I basically ignored every other list in the game. I didn't care. I was like, I don't care what other factions exist. All I need to beat is Crucible Guard and Lilith 4. If I can beat those two lists, I can do anything. I can fly. Like, it doesn't matter.
You're casually catching a load of like popular nasty lists like Madrak 2 with like Jalam.
Madrak 3.
Oh, Madrak 3. Sorry, yeah, with
yeah,
which is cool. So do you want to?
The cat's just.
Do you want to just talk through exactly what your lists were, Matt, and we'll.
Oh God, exactly. Point for point.
Wow.
If you go to
broad strokes.
Yeah.
If you go to any of the websites that do tournament tracking, you can find my pairings.
Find them.
But generally speaking, Makeda 2, Malakarn Tiberian, Gladiator and Kriya on Zadesh 1, Min Handlers 1 Max 1 Min Ferox, double Soul Ward, double Tycom, double Mortithurge, Swamp Gobber River Raider. It sounds like a redeem.
It's Makeda's greatest hits.
Why are Swamp Gobbers like? Why can't I take Swamp Gobbers?
And then my Jalam list is Jalam with Shaman Raider, 2 Archidons, a Kriya on Makeda 0, Gladiator on Jalam, Malakarn on Jalam, 1 Max Cats, 1 Tycom. Sounds like the list to me. There's like Soul Wards and like other shit in there.
So that's one. So that is one cat unit with a 19-inch threat.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Cats are basically just ranged units at this point, right?
Yeah.
Basically, they're guns. Yeah.
So the gimmick, the whole premise of the pairing was, Makeda 2 is very good into Crucible Guard because their anti-healing tech is only on the Vulcan. So, like, they have anti-tough and shit, but, like, whatever, I don't care about that. So, the only thing that stops stay death is the Vulcan. And any caster who takes a Vulcan makes their list innately worse against Makeda 2 because they get less attacks in the list. So, like, the Vulcan allows you to kill two cats a turn, maybe, because it has to roll dice. And you have a shield guard and all this stuff. So, like, it can maybe kill 2 cats a turn, but that's all it does. So it doesn't do anything else in the matchup because it's out-threatened by everything in my list. So it has to play defensively, it has to sit back. And then, depending on the variance...
That's a lot of points to just sit back.
That's a hell of a lot of points to sit back. That's a losing strategy.
And then, depending on the rest of the stuff in Crucible Guard, Makeda's feat allows you to get through the, like, Def 15, 16, 17 dudes that they can put on the table, so you're not really worried about that. You have takedown on everything, so you're not worried about tough. And then, like, if they're playing trains, deflection and Kriya absolutely wrecks trains. You're like Def 17 against their sprays, they're needing 11s to hit you. Like, and you have dodge. So, like, even if they walk up and spray and they're like, ha ha, and they miss all your guys, you're just like, okay, now I walk my whole army 2 inches forward and kill your caster. Or kill the train, or kill whatever. And, like, everyone, like, sits there and is like, oh, cats don't have damage output. And it's like, 2 power 14s per cat will kill an Arm 18 heavy very
Easily.
reliably.
Mm.
Arm 19, you'll almost kill it with just like 4 cats. If you charge an Arm 19 heavy though with all 5 cats, you'll kill it. Well, maybe you won't kill, but you'll really hurt it.
Yeah.
Depending on what kind of heavy it is in the faction and stuff. But the gimmick of the list is you just don't lose attacks with the list, so you don't generally have to kill lots of things in one turn because you can blunt people's alphas with stay death. You can kind of just like throw cats and redeem in, and then they like dismount and redeem and don't kill them, and then your cats and redeem kill another heavy or kill the heavy and some other stuff or whatever.
So you can play a much slower game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Zosha was like reporting my games, or Charles or Mike or someone was reporting my games, and every game I played, I like pushed up aggressively. My opponent like positioned to like absorb the alpha, and then I just like backed up and was like, "All right, well, that took 20 minutes of your clock to do that positioning. Do it again, and we'll go from there." So against like lists like Crucible Guard, you can play like a very like slow, methodical game, and like they're just not very good at getting through all of your stay deaths and like stats.
Right.
Coincidentally, Lilith 4 absolutely shits all over Makeda 2. It's a game you can play.
Mortality is not your friend.
Yeah, you can play against it. Like it's a thing you can do. You could possibly win the game, but it's like I'm really. Yeah, I'm really comfortable with my Makeda 2 list, and like I've played that matchup a dozen times, and I think I've won it twice, and I'm like, it's not where you want to be.
Yeah.
So I spent, I don't know, a month and a half, 2 months, just testing different answers into Lilith 4. Just like being like, okay, who has Lilith 4 and wants to make me regret existing? And testing all the different things. And Jalam was the only caster that actually had like a positive or playable matchup, I felt.
I was going to say, did anyone else come close, or was it?
No, it wasn't like there was no like I tried like all kinds of like Xerxes 2 and Xerxes 1 and all this stuff, and like Xerxes 1's playable. Like you can get a playable game with Xerxes 1 if your list is very teched for the matchup, but like it's rough. It's really rough, and Xerxes just dies in the matchup sometimes because he's a medium base idiot.
Yes.
And he's also only Fury 5, so like to get his feet on like the Ravagors down the table, he has to like Energize or fail charge up the table.
That's asking for trouble.
And hope he kills it.
Yeah, he has to pray, and like you're just like he's base to base with like Tiberian or something, and you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna get shot to death. So that's problematic. But Jalam was the only caster that really felt good. And a fellow WTC player, we grinded this game a few times, and every game was just like, all right, so if I pray Azrael in this matchup, Azrael has to stay on the other side of the table from Jalam, which means he's not shooting. And if he wanders over to shoot, Jalam removes half his boxes and grievous wounds him. So like, if that happens before feat turn and she like goes to feat, the game's immediately over. And like the whole premise of the thing is like Malik Karn in an Artifice with 4 Fury available to force rerolls, and like Kriya, even though she ignores it, you force her to have to ignore it. And with like all the rerolls that happen, it's actually not likely that she kills Malik Karn, even with feet and like everything shooting him. But every Lilith 4 player will always go for it because of like killing Malik Karn's like, oh, that's the game. I could just get to kill him. And even if they succeed in killing Malik Karn, they give away their whole army to do it. Because you threat like 16, and that's the range of their guns.
Yeah.
So they like come up, let's say like at Adepticon, my round 2 opponent killed Malik Karn. He like his first like boosted power 12 at dice off 8 took out Malik Karn's spirit. And I was like, all right, you rolled like an 18 or something. Like, okay, you got it, and I'll take 9 damage. And that was rough, but he killed Malik Karn, and then like I went and just like killed 2 Ravagors and like a bunch of shit, and was just like, Azrael is dead basically. I took out his spirit and mind with Jalam. I was like, pow pow. Jalam, the Raider, and the Shaman.
Jalam just seems so good. Like I've never really played much Skorne. I've like dabbled like a few games on Wartable, which is like one of the great benefits of Wartable, right? You just play stuff you don't have. But yeah, Jalam just seems like a fun caster that's got like a bit of a funky toolbox to bring to the table. But
yeah, he doesn't play like the rest of Skorne, which is why I think he's good. he is like a very specific list. There's other matchups other than Lilith 4 he's great into. Like he's really good into Circle, as an example.
Yeah.
Like Makeda 2 is very good into a lot of Circle, and he's also very good into a lot of Circle. So you kind of have like the double coverage of that matchup, which feels really good. He's pretty good into a lot of like Signar and Kador and stuff. But one of the big concerns I had was Karchev 2. I didn't think he would be like in numbers in like at the event, because I feel like Karchev 2 isn't a list that a lot of people play. It's a list that like some people play.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe there'll be one Karchev 2 player. And Makeda 2, I changed the Makeda 2 list to have the Min Cats and to add in the Beast Handlers for that matchup, because they make that matchup very, very winnable.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Not cool.
Just
Cool,
for the extra output to crack the wall.
Yeah. So in that matchup, you can put Malakarn and Tiberian in and kill heavies, and then put cats in front of them.
Right.
And then Karchev can't get through the cats and also kill the heavy.
And he's not triggering what's it called either? Meat for the beast. Because
Sure,
you're never letting him get a free kill a cat to get a free
Oh
cost.
yeah, he'll kill cats. You can't
Yeah.
stop it. The models have too many attacks. You only stop 6.
Yeah, fair enough.
So like a heavy activates, does 5 attacks, and then the next heavy goes and kills like 2 cats.
Yeah.
But like that's all
Right.
he gets to do.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, you can live with that.
Yeah. So like the heavies are just kind of like jammed in a pile, and then Malakarn, Redeem, and Tiberian kill like another 2 heavies, and the cats like re-engage the wall, and then you're like, okay, like let's just keep doing this, I guess.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's go from that and start talking about your actual
Very cool.
experience at Adepticon, if that's all right, Matt.
Yeah.
How was it? What stuff did you do apart from the Masters? Did you?
So we got in Wednesday. I got in Wednesday afternoon. I like hung out with the PP staff a bunch. We they built terrain. I sat there and was like, I'm not helping you build terrain. Talked a lot of shit. Had a good time. Everyone started showing up Wednesday night. We all went out to dinner. Had a good time. Thursday was like the first Masters qualifier. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the Heat format that they did there, but basically Thursday and Friday each had a Masters qualifier, and the top 4 from each qualifier got into the top 8 Masters.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So, but there was no limitation that said if you were qualified, you couldn't play in the other Masters.
Oh,
Or
okay.
the other invitational. So I like all of us who qualified day 1 played in the day 2 qualifier, and we just dream crushed people the whole time. So because I went undefeated in day 1 and in day 2, a bunch of like X and 1s got into the top 8 because there was a bunch of undefeateds who didn't qualify, or a bunch of there wasn't enough undefeateds, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because with the same people going undefeated in both.
Yeah. And then Saturday we had like the 2-headed ogre style team tournament where each player has like a 50-point list.
Yeah.
And you're playing versus another thing. Super fun. Really, 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 really beautiful, dumb things that can happen on that table. Like, we played Makeda 2, Magnus 2 as our team. And yeah, like army goes in, cats all go in and kill stuff. Then Magnus like charges up and he's like, and now you can't charge them or you can't move forward. And it's like, yeah, you've lost this game. Like there's like every game we played was just like turn 2, the game's just over. We're just like staring at the table like, yep.
We'll come back next turn and finish the job.
Oh, I mean, there was no
job to finish. Okay.
Yeah, we score 5. Like there's like a cat lives in their zone contesting with 6-day deaths, and you're just like, you can try to shoot this cat to death. You don't have enough guns, so what would you like to do?
Oh, that is horrific.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
The combos in those sort of multi-caster events seem bonkers. That's cool.
Yeah, so we did that, and that was super fun. I think that was actually the most fun I had at the event. We were just like playing against really cool guys, having a good time. Sunday we went to a Brazilian steakhouse restaurant thing. I don't know if you guys have those where you guys are.
Yeah, there's one like round the corner from where the Welsh Masters venue was in Cardiff in Firestorm.
Neat.
Yeah, I used to go there like every year with like all the Welsh players, and the Irish players would all go together and have this massive Brazilian barbecue. It's like a keep on coming sort of one where you just give them
So the buffet thing.
Yeah, you like
going.
put some. I can't remember what it is. You put something on your table if you don't want any more meat. Otherwise, they just keep on bringing meat.
Yeah. So we're like 8 people at this restaurant, and like basically you have like everyone has like a card that has a green side and a red side. If the card's on the green side, the waiters will keep bringing you just slabs of meat.
Right.
And if you flip it over to red, they call you weak and walk by. They're like, look at this weak ass, no more meat for him. They judge you immensely. So
yeah, that's very very similar to the one we go to in Cardiff, Viva Brazil, and there's like it's essentially on the card is what you can eat. So there's like, I don't know, like 30 different sorts of meat, and they'll be like, are you having this heart of whatever animal? No, why not? Like everyone else on the table's gonna have some.
Yeah, we don't really have the heart or anything like anything weird like that, but we were like, they were just bringing by like the best cuts of steak I've ever had in my life, and like, you know, butter basted like prime prime rib, and like all kinds of like I was on the end of the table, so every waiter walked by Travis and I first. So we always got the best cuts of meat, and then everyone else on the table got like the leftovers. So I think I ate like 4 whole cows. I got in the car and was like, I'm gonna die, guys. We need to go to a hospital. Like,
but
this is an issue.
But you're gonna die happy, so it's fine.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you're fine. Just like walk it off. I'm like, I can't walk.
Maybe
my
roll it
blood.
Off.
Yeah, my blood is meat. My heart is not working. And I felt it the next day, I'll say that. Sunday, when we played the Invitational, I was like, before the game started, I was like, all right, guys, I want you all to know that if I die, arrest these people, because this was brutal.
Death by meat poisoning.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I've missed about events, is that whole thing, being able to see your buddies that you've not seen for so long and go and do stupid things.
Agreed.
So that was... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on. Go for it.
That was the whole thing everyone was saying during the event. Like, every single person was just like, holy shit, I can see people again. Like, like day 1, everyone was like wearing masks and like being like really sensitive about distance. Day 2, people were just like hugging and like spitting in each other's mouths, you know, typical con behavior. But you know, I kept saying like, wow, it's weird just seeing people in a room with me. Like, it's like there was like a few hundred people in the hall we were in, and it was like, holy shit, this is a lot of people. Like, we're all getting COVID, and everyone did get COVID. Like, a bunch of people got COVID.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think it's just like the way that people see things these days again now, and how you just gotta kind of
you just gotta. You kind of got to the point where you know you gotta live your life. Like, just gotta accept some risk at some point.
Yeah. But yeah, sounds good. Yeah, we had a Steamroller like a week ago where we went. It was only like 3 rounds, so we just stayed afterwards to play another round. Like just 4 of us. We're like, yeah, they've done the prizes. Let's just like, you know, we'll squeeze an extra game in before we go home. Make the day worthwhile. Spend a bit more time. So yeah, can't wait for an actual big event. So we've only in the UK we've only had like decent sized steamrollers and stuff. Like in Sherwood, we've had like 30-40 players, and then all throughout like the North and like Midlands, we've had decent sized turnouts, but no actual like proper tournaments. So the Welsh Masters next month is going to be the first like big one.
Any idea what the numbers are up to?
I think it's like 100.
Oh man, so I'm looking forward to that.
It's a lot smaller than the cap used to be. So they've moved. Yeah. So Firestorm Games, who hosted it, have moved to a different location. So it's a really nice, much nicer sort of store and much nicer setup, but also it's not a gigantic old warehouse. So it can't have 180 players in one Masters. So so there's a little bit numbers limited, but like, well, it's fine, right? I think Martin was aiming for maybe 80 or 100. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, I'm super excited about it. So that'll be cool.
Absolutely.
Cool. Right then, so go. Sorry, yeah, go.
That's a lot of people. I really need to make it out to Welsh Masters one year. I was gonna go in 2018, I think.
Yeah.
But the dates competed with another con I was going to, so I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we'll frequently get like a bunch of like people from like Belgium, France, like some Nordics come down.
Yeah, it doesn't cost them like $1,800 to fly.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, we were talking about this last night, weren't we? About like $1,200, $1,800 to come across. Yeah, it needs to be like a holiday for you guys to make it worthwhile, right? Roll it into
so that's
other things.
Well, that's the thing with WTC is like, it costs like North Americans like $2,000+ to do WTC.
Yeah, that's the same problem the South Africans always had trying to get a team together. It's the same level of cost.
Yeah, there's a Belgian just a Belgian big event in next month, I think, and I just casually looked at the flight prices to go like, can I do it? It's like not far from Brussels, and it's like, oh, like £35. Oh, maybe I can go. But yeah, it's
£35.
That is manageable.
Yeah. So it's not like comparable, right? So I think everyone I know, or most of the lot I know that have done WTC when it's been in Belgium, have just driven. So we'll like get like a minibus or like a big like van.
But I mean, £35. It'll cost you more to get childcare than it will to get the plane tickets.
Yeah, let's not talk about Chuck.
But, I mean, homeless people will look after children for free.
Yeah.
Just saying.
You know, that's fair, actually.
Big brains.
Yeah, I've already booked my my childcare for WTC. I have been like as on the ball as I can, and
putting your kids up at like a dog border or like
no, I'm sending them to their mums for the long weekend. Oh. So she's gonna like book time off work to look after them. So which means I'm gonna have to go the opposite direction first. So I have to go to Swansea. I don't live in Wales, but I'll have to go like to Swansea first to drive with the rest of the team. But it's like part of the process, right? It's like a really cool road trip when there's like all of you in the team and you're talking about the games and your matchups and what you're expecting, what you want to do, and
that's actually
obviously catching up as well, right? Because I don't live near them, so I get to just chat to them on the internet and on Wartable and my normal games with my teammates. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the con road trips and like road trips in general with like your buds is like the highlight of Warmachine for me. I would like a flight to Toronto takes like an hour and is like $90. A car ride takes 6.5 hours and is not that much less expensive because of gas. And I was like, well, I guess I'll just do the car ride because 6.5 hours talking shit in a car sounds a lot more fun.
Yeah.
It really does.
Sitting through security and stuff. Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Chrono in the chat is like saying, yeah, let's host it in Australia. I'm like,
no, thank you.
At some point, will there be like a North American WTC? I don't know.
No,
it's like there's so many countries is the problem, isn't it? For it to be outside of Europe.
So there's if a WTC was ever hosted in North America, the attendance would be abysmal, right? Like, how many people do you think can pay the $2,000, $2,500, whatever, to fly to America from, like, you think, like, team whatever is going to send 15 dudes?
Yeah,
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, countries will send maybe a team.
Debacle.
Yeah, I guess America will send, like, 50 teams, though, right? So they'll beat their record for this year. Like, sweet. So every city. West Coast, Northwest.
I was actually really surprised. I guess like this is just like how countries treated COVID, right? Like Canada, everyone's still like traumatized. So no one really like when we were talking about like, oh, are you guys gonna do WTC? Like, you guys want to come? Everyone's like, well, we don't even know if we can leave our houses yet. Like. And everyone was super scared, so like there was like a big pushback on WTC, and then America was just like, COVID doesn't even exist. It's a conspiracy. Yeah, it's a conspiracy. Get out there, guys. Yeah. We'll send 17 teams. Let's go. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, like Corey was saying last night. Yeah, that it's only now that you can go back and forth into Canada without a COVID passport, and
so
and it's not as bad.
Back,
go.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead. You're right. Go ahead.
I say it's not as bad like over here. The English government are very much yeah, the same as America. They're like, yeah, well, just get on with it. Send your kids to school and then let them spread and then carry on. Whereas like Wales and Scotland are all a bit like.
It in a word, if you had to describe it in a word, the word you'd be looking for is negligent.
Yeah, shit show. I think with my, but
I mean,
you know, it is what it is.
Whatever.
Right?
Yeah. Coming back. So when I was flying to Chicago from Montreal, they were like, you have to have a COVID test and all this stuff, and no one checked. I got on the plane, got off the plane. No one was like, can I see your COVID test and vaccination? No one gave a shit. Coming back to Canada, they were like, please, can we see all your information at all times? Like, we need to see everything. And it was rough. Especially I was at Adepticon, I had really big concerns about getting COVID because it's in America. So I was like, everyone's gonna have COVID. I'm gonna die. And so you have to have a negative test to get on the plane to come back. And I was like, I went to the clinic and I was like, can I get my COVID test, please? And they're like, yeah, it's gonna be $9 million. And I was like, sick, okay. Well, I hope that you'll forge a negative result if I'm paying you this much. That should maybe give me a reach around while you're gonna fuck me. I don't. Legitimately, it was $200 US to get my nose violated with a Q-tip, and I was like, dude, I could do this in my house for free.
Yeah. I've got 4 boxes of the stuff in my house just in case still.
Yeah, but to fly they need an official.
To fly, you need to get the PCR.
Yeah.
We just had them with £80 a pop.
We don't need PCRs. We can do the we don't even need tests anymore. But when we were flying, we could get the rapid antigen. So it was just you walk in, they give you some Q-tip in your nose, and then they put you on your way. It takes them 30 seconds, but it also costs an arm and a leg to do apparently at a place. So. And the Schaumburg on Sundays, everything closes at 4 p.m. So the Masters ended at 4:30. So I'm sitting there I have a flight, I need to get a COVID test, nothing's open. So what do I do? So I had to go to fight my way through the line at the airport to get a COVID test there, and it took them an hour to give me the results, which is only supposed to take 15 minutes, but whatever. My flight, I was sitting at the gate for my flight, and the lady's like, do you have your test result yet? Because we're boarding. And I'm like, nope. And everyone's on the plane, they're just waiting for me to get this test result. I'm just like, oh shit, dude. I'm gonna get fucking stranded in America.
Jeez. But you got it.
Yeah. I made it back. It was a long journey back, a bunch of cancellations and delays and shit, but it was good. The trip was pretty good. I got some free airplane credits, so I get to spend that on my next flight where I'll get cancels and delays, and that'll be great.
And get your nose violated and go in and smash them.
Well, we don't have to do it anymore. We don't have to do it anymore ever since April 1st. So now I can just get COVID at a con and not care and come across the border and give it to everyone. So
that seems more sensible.
Yeah, it seems great. But a bunch of people at Adepticon did catch COVID, and they were people were messaging me hey, I have COVID. You probably have COVID too. And I'm I took 4 tests. I don't have COVID. I don't know how I don't have COVID. We were basically making out, so I don't know how. You
just accept it, right, and go okay. Just
whew,
breathe a sigh.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm sitting in my house. I'm man, I'm really tired, but I'm fine. And then I take a test. I'm they're nope, no COVID. I'm all right, well, guess I can go outside.
You just wiped out from having to do an event, I guess. Yeah, makes sense. Well, let's go back to talking about the event then. If we're finished with the COVID hell.
We have digressed so nicely.
Talk us through your big games then, Matt. So, she said that there's qualifiers. So did you say you qualified in the first one of the qualifiers?
Yeah. So the Thursday went undefeated. Yeah. Played basically only against Lilith 4, so that was fun.
You were prepared.
So you got to put your Jalam plan to the test.
Yeah. I think I played Lilith 4 the first 2 rounds, and then my third round I think was against Jake, and he's looked at my sheet and saw I had beaten Lilith 4 twice, and was okay, I'm gonna drop my off list because apparently there's some tech there. Yeah, there's some tech there. And then he played Krissa with dudes into me, and I was like, your dudes are Mat 7, my cats are Def 14. I'll feat. Your turn.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. Yeah, he's like, I don't know how this list works. Let's play the game. And I was like, yeah, let's have a good time. I think I played CG once on Thursday, and I played. Did I play G? No, I played him the second day. Maybe it was only level 4 the whole day. And then, so that was like, level 4 is like just like a matchup that you're just like clenching your butthole the whole time. You're just like, is she gonna try to kill my caster this turn and get the 1.6% assassination? I almost died to it. Round 2, I think I almost died to like a pretty low odds assassination, but whatever.
I think that happens a lot where people don't realize how low it is, so they'll like have the gut feeling of this game is shit. I best try and kill you.
It also happens when you. Yeah, but it also happens when you put people just into a shitty situation. Like, it may only be a 20% assassination, but if you're so far on the back foot that you've got 90% chance of losing, fuck it, you'll take it.
Yeah, so this is like one of the things like a lot of competitive players lose games. I die to this all the time on Wartable. Not really at cons, but at Wartable I get fuck around-ed by this a lot. Is I'll just be like, well, they're not going to go for this assassination, and I'll just like put my models up places, and then they'll be like, all right, I'm going to kill a caster. And I'm like, oh, okay, you got me. Like, oh, okay. But at cons, usually I protect my stuff because like you don't know, like there's actually like something at risk at cons. Like maybe you lose a game and then like you don't win the con, and then like that sucks.
Yeah.
So day 1, Jalam almost got cut in half by some legionnaires, which was pretty funny. Day 2, we do another qualifier, and I played CG every round. Round 1 was against Lucas. Round 2 was against Lucas. Round 3 was against Baldwin. And then they cut after round 3 because they had 4 undefeated. Well, theoretically 4 undefeated, whatever.
Yeah.
So Lucas versus Makeda 2 is like the most fun game for Makeda 2. I played against like a pretty standard Lucas list, and then I played against Watts playing the like death skew against living Lucas list, and that was pretty fun. We just kind of had like a big pile in the middle of guys fighting, and me stay deathing a million times. Redeem just like tanked a whole army and was just like stabbing heavies to death. Pretty good. Then I played Conan round 3, the last round of day 2. He played Baldwin into me, and just kind of like he got low on time.
You're not seeing a lot of Gearheart.
Well, I mean, I don't think a lot of people want to play Gearheart into Makeda 2, generally speaking. Right. I think most people just want to play Lucas and win games by being focus 14 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work against Makeda because she camps 6 the whole game. So this was like the thing in the game against Watts was Lucas. He's like, oh, I have this arc node over here. It can run and get line of sight to Makeda. And I'm like, well, I'll just camp 6. Like, what are you going to do about it? Like, you can't kill me. So are you not going to spend your focus? And the second you spend your focus, I can start stay deathing.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll just camp 6 until, like, there's like, the threat to me is gone. And then, like, I'll go down to 0.
It's obvious you can go, right, go empty. I guess is that like quite similar to how you play Harby, where you go like these threats are on the board. As soon as they've started using them to do something else, you can like, well, cool, I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Harby's
a little bit like that, but you can power through Harby because she camps and she's still armor 19. You can blow through that. You can't do that with transfers.
Transfers are just way better than like, and also Harby is just very susceptible to getting spiked on, right? Yeah. She like martyrdoms 3 times and she's on like 8 health, and you're like,
yeah.
Well, what are the odds I roll a 17 and kill her through focus? Like, right? Like, I have 2 boosted 12s. Like, maybe we just do it.
Yeah.
like with Makeda, they're like, oh, we have 2 boosted 12s. It's mathematically impossible. Okay, and like, and that's and also like. Makeda's a 15-16 and usually has like deflection and Kriya. So she's usually like a 23 armor, fucking 18 or 20, like just like impossible to shoot. Like the Vulcan was like looking at Makeda like, are you camping 2? If you ever camp less than 2, I'm gonna spray you and then shoot you with a rocket. No, and I'm like, well, I'm in a trench. Yeah, I'm in a trench. Your rocket's never gonna hit, my guy. Like that's not a thing I'm scared of. You need like a 17. Like I welcome you to try.
Yeah.
And so like that's like the nature. Makeda 2 is like just like very resilient to assassination, very resilient to attrition, very resilient to scenarios. So you just play these like really long games, and due to the nature of how stay death interacts with like your opponent's decision making, they almost always have time deficits in the matchup. So like they're like, okay, I need to load up this heavy and get this heavy into this pocket of cats. But to get this heavy into the pocket of cats, I need to kill these 2 cats in front. To kill these 2 cats in front, I need to use this other heavy.
Yeah, that's at least 10 minutes on your clock just working out how you're going to unpick that.
Yeah, and then when they go in with that, they like fully load both heavies, and then like they're like, okay, cool, I'm going to start doing the thing, and you just like make a couple toughs or like stay death, and then like their whole plan falls apart, and then they're just like, fuck.
Yeah, then they scratch their head trying to work out if they can even get the thing to do the cats in they wanted in the first place.
Or like they miss an attack and you dodge, and you're just like
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of that fuck is another 5 minutes on your clock reevaluating a new plan.
Thinking about your life choices.
So you've always got a clock deficit. Yeah.
Yeah. The other big thing is like a lot of times people will be like, oh, there's a cat contesting this zone. I'm gonna attack this cat contesting the zone like 80 times and pull all the stay deaths, so that way I can kill stuff on the other side of the table. And then like they'll load up a heavy and put it into the cat and be like, okay, here comes whatever
Cat.
Yeah, and then you just like you just let it die, and they're like, oh no, I can't kill anything else this turn. That was all my resources. I put them all there.
I mean, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they don't load up the heavy, you stay death. If they do load it up, you just say, well, stuff it. You've wasted your focus.
Yeah. So like due to the nature of how that all interacts, it's like pretty clock intensive for your opponent, and they really need to like think like they need to like see through the matrix to understand what's going to happen. And a lot of times it's just like you as the Makeda player, you're just like picking up models and like letting them die, or like you're like throwing fury across the table, whatever, and you're just like, all right, well, like it doesn't matter, because as long as I keep the core stuff I care about alive, I don't really care what you do. And so that's how matchups tend to go, is like my day one, I think all my opponents basically clocked. Like they lost on scenario or assassination or whatever, but it was because they clocked. That like they were like, well, I don't have enough time to measure this threat range, so I'm just gonna put my caster there and hope that he's out of it. And then like flip to me and I'm like, oh, the gladiator gets to your caster's dead. Okay.
Yeah, just the clock pressure just making them forcing them into bad decisions or bad plays, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a couple where like I've got whatever a 30% assassination. I'd never go for it, but I'm badly behind on clock, so I'll go for the assassination. I just don't have the clock to play the long game.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Right, so yeah, lots of like, I don't know. Are you seeing Evan? Are you seeing Lilith 4 everywhere? I know, like I'm talking about Lilith 4 with a bunch of the
I'm not seeing it a lot. I mean, down south, I was the guy pulling out Lilith 4, but I played like one or two games.
That guy, I honestly didn't enjoy it.
I actually didn't enjoy her, so yeah, I shelved her quite quickly. Mostly because I wanted to get back onto Circle.
Okay.
So the 2 pairings that made it to the finals, Nate and I, were both pairings that were specifically made to beat Lilith 4. To give you an example of how the meta was.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So Nate day 2 played against Lilith 4 every round.
Oh, Jesus.
So you played Lilith 4 all day Thursday, and they did it on day 2.
Yeah, and I basically played CG all day Friday, and he beat all the Lilith players. I beat all the Lucas players. So we kind of like by our powers combined solve the meta. So
you know what? And the world was thankful.
Yeah. So we made it. So
I'm curious that you haven't mentioned the K word once. Kruger.
Oh, I don't think Kruger's that good anymore.
There's too many K words, right? Kruger,
I mean,
Karchev.
Kalissa.
Yeah, that's true.
So hot take, I don't think Kruger is the bully he used to be.
That's interesting.
So I was talking about this a little bit before the podcast. So I think in the like world of matchups and team pairings and all this and pairings and all the stuff and how lists are designed, I think most people kind of follow the same paradigm that's existed since Mark II, where you have a really strong skew list and then you have a thing that answers its problems. We talked about questions, answers, whatever. In Mark II, this was like you have like a Crix list and then like your list you actually want to play. And and I think a lot of people follow that paradigm. And what this means is that in a convention setting, you're in list chicken like every single round you play.
Yeah.
You have like 12 games over the weekend, and if your opponent has as much like the same kind of design principle that you do, both of you are always in list chicken against each other. You're just like, my list A beats your list B, and your list B beats my list A, so we're just going to flip a coin and see who gets fucked in this matchup. And I think that a lot of people build themselves into this, and they don't really put any thought into it. They're just like, this is how we do it. And I think that's the problem with Kruger too, is that he's a caster that, like, he's, like, very good, but he's not how he used to be, where he just has a game against everyone anymore. Like, he gets, like, rolled over by a lot of CG, he gets rolled over by a lot of Legion, he gets rolled over by a lot of factions now, and a lot of people slam him down in a pairing with Wormwood, and they're like, this covers the meta, but like the reality is it doesn't, because like Wormwood has dodges. Yeah, exactly. They both have dodges, and chances are they're going to need to dodge something in your opponent's pairing. So you end up playing like bad or like okay matchups most of the time, as opposed to if you have a pairing that is actually like complementary and you have a strategy for each faction, then you end up playing like decent matchups every single time. And a lot of people just don't build pairings that way anymore, or never have, I guess. And that's why I don't think Kruger 2 is that good. So,
well, interesting. I need to test out more. But
you just shattered Evan's world.
I like
He's
him.
like, I'm just about to swap on to Kruger. My painting is nearly done.
I'm busy. That's exactly what I'm doing. No, I still love the games I've played online, but I need to play more of them. I still haven't settled on a pairing, because I do think of him as a take all comers.
Okay,
but I'm not sure what actually kills him.
As long as those comers aren't CG or Legion or Karchev 2 or like there's a lot of like random.
I don't know if Karchev 2 is a problem for him. It takes a bit of practice, but Karchev 2's it's painful. But yeah,
against like the good Karchev, against the good Karchev 2 list, you're trying to trade 3 or 4 heavies into 7 or 8, which is not where you really.
Yeah, no. If you're trading, you're losing. You've got to cheat trades.
Yeah, and that's really hard against Karchev, like good Karchev 2 players, right?
Yeah.
They just don't give that to you. But like that's an aside. I think Kruger 2 is a good caster. His kit's very good, but he now has weaknesses where he didn't have them before.
Yeah.
Because of the changes.
Which is healthy, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so like the changes to Windstorm, the changes to like as an example, Kruger. Big. Yeah, the Kruger 2 Wormwood pairing isn't good against Makeda 2 Jalon pairing, as an example. Neither of those casters have a favorable matchup.
You can't play the tree into cats.
Yeah, and you can't play Kruger into cats either.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when your heavies with Kruger out threatened by like multiple inches, there's no like I'm gonna trade super well. It's just
never gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Just out of luck.
Yeah, and whether you're playing like the Living Warpwolf version or the Woldward, your heavies are too low armor to survive the cats. So
yeah. They will die. That's for sure.
So that's the problem that a lot of Circle players run into, is there's a lot of lists that have that same paradigm where Kruger 2 Wormwood is like a classic, like great pairing, but time has moved on and Circle players need to move on and innovate too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's very true.
I've been talking about it with like my team as well, and we're going, oh well, everyone's gonna, or a lot of people will still have that as a crutch, right? Come October, of going, if I just bring Karchev and assume I can win every round, if I bring Kruger and assume I can win every round, and it's like, well, there's a lot of time in between.
They're not the bullies. They're not quite the bullies they were.
They were, yeah. Which is cool.
I think that's a lot of the game though. A lot of people approach it like there were so many Zol 2 players at Adepticon. And like
Oh,
I just
wow.
got to listen to all of them lose their game and be salty about it, which was great.
But it's been the same Zol 2 list for like 4 years. If they
Yeah.
don't think people have solved this list by now, then what do they think people have been doing for 4 years?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't play. So I'm playing Makeda 2 Cats, which was like early Mark 3, but like
Yeah.
you have to always be reevaluating what you're doing. Like there's no Zol 2 worked 17 million years ago, so now I'm gonna just keep playing Zol 2. Like you're gonna lose to Thamrite Archons, you're gonna get demolished by Lilith 4, you're gonna get demolished by this, that, and the other, and it's like Warmachine's a game that's constantly evolving. You have to innovate and try new things to evolve with it.
Yeah. Which is part of like the
Death
the newer,
Archons
like-
got nerfed, but there's still 9 points trading into half your Zol 2 army. Like,
Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, yeah, it's a good thing indicator, I think, of the state of the game that you aren't just sat on it. We talked about it in the pre-show that after we did our like tier list, there's a Skorne player going, what are you on about? Zal 2's everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, Zal 2 still is everywhere. People aren't willing to put them down, right? They've painted all these little fucking stone guys.
they painted 50 damn statues, and damn it, they're going to put them on the table.
They've played their 200 reps with Zal 2 into everything. The problem is, it's everything that used to be on the table, and now their 200 reps onto Zal, with Zal don't mean as much because they're playing into someone's brings 2 Thamrite Archons and just shits all over your list, or they bring a host of things basically to just shut you down and go no sorry. Yeah,
so that's the thing, right? Like you don't even need that much tech to beat Zal 2 anymore.
Yeah,
because like there's just certain pieces that exist that just like walk all over him, and it's like Dez and Gubbin is a really good example of like a model in a list that will kill like 6 immortals in a turn.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
And that's one model, right? It's rough.
Yeah.
That's a goddamn requisition slot.
Yeah, you're like, okay, well, Dez and Gubbin kills half a unit, maybe even the UA too, because like it's a blast. Kills like everything, and then is like, now my army activates and we kill everything else.
Yeah,
you may go now.
Yeah, you're one immortal.
You've got one guy left to vengeance.
You're one immortal behind the Supreme Guardian. Might get to vengeance. Well done.
Yeah,
I hope he makes good choices and leaves.
Yeah, and that's kind of the problem is like the meta of Warmachine is more lethal now than it's ever been. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't matter. Generally speaking,
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what your defensive stats are. It doesn't matter like what your model could have any rule in the game. It just doesn't matter. Like, if you're within range of something, if you're within range, you're dead. Just like the end of the statement. And a lot of that has to do with how people are building lists and the lists people are playing, right? Because in like early/middle Mark 3, we kind of existed in the same meta where Karchev was like the most powerful list in the game, quote, whatever.
Yeah.
And everyone was bringing like a million high power attacks to be able to fight Karchev. So like playing anything that was like medium durability, you just exploded. You were like, oh, this list beats Gatsby 3/9 Slayers. And you're like, well, I'm less durable than Gatsby 3/9 Slayers. And they're like, haha, get off my fucking table.
Yeah.
And we're kind of there again.
Do the job with half my army.
Yeah.
The other half does whatever it wants.
Yeah, and we're here now again where people are bringing tools to like kill things, and our things are just dying, and we're like, this is like, what do we play? We can't. And like the problem is like normally in this kind of a situation you like see dude spam have a huge resurgence.
Yeah,
but
no, there's too much that just trivially removes dudes.
Yeah, like Dez and Gubbin
accidentally.
Yeah, Dez and Gubbin, Thamrite Archons, Scathers, like there's just like so many things.
The plethora of models that have come out with shooting gallery, or just crap like the assault tankers. Like there's just so much that randomly kills infantry without building for it.
And I mean, just Dez and Gubbin alone, with the changes to like blast stuff, like Dez and Gubbin. I've had games where I play like a brick, and I play only Dez and Gubbin as my only anti-infantry tool, and I kill.
All you need.
Yeah, like I killed like the whole table. I'm just like, my heavy kills 3 guys, and then Des and Gubbin kills 8. It's like, okay, well,
I'm
Um,
sitting in here over Retribution, just like casually stroking my casually stroking my second box of Risivus Defenders, going, girded. Like I've had a few games over the last like month where I've brought like a Kalissa list. My opponent's brought all of these AoE guns, and I'm just like, and he's just like, why have your Risivas just run in different directions? I'm like, they don't need to do anything apart from stand next to someone. That's their job for this game. They're like,
yeah,
you get girded all the time. I'm like, yes, and that solo casually gets it too. It's like shit, and I'm like, well, yeah, but not like so many factions don't have the blast resistance anymore. It's rough, I would say, for some.
Yeah.
Des and Govern in particular are special because they'll have games where they do nothing, and then they'll have a game where it randomly kills Jakes, and there's a heavy just sitting on the side of the board, useless.
Yeah,
they're
amazing.
I've been playing Gunny 2 recently, and because I'm a complete degenerate, and there's turns where Des and Gubbin, she walks up, mini feet, shoots her gun, kills some stuff, and then Gunny walks up and is feet make her shoot again, fully boosted, and she just takes half the boxes off a battle group. It's
it'll do it.
I played a game versus Karchev 2 last night, and he had a Juggernaut Marauder kind of in a pod, and I was like, I'm pretty sure they're all dead. I'm armor 20 or not, I'm pretty sure they're fucked. Des and Gubbin is doing 2 fully boosted power 14s.
You got Doze and Smig there as well.
Yeah. You're just I'm pretty sure these 3 heavies are gone, my man. I'm sorry.
So before we move on to your Masters games, I've got to say I've never played Trolls, but I love the position that Trolls and Minions are in right now, because they were the underdog for so long, and now they've got this massive plethora of really cool models to take and really good options, and it's all these in the UK, Troll players just seem to be diehards, right? And they just kind of just stuck with it, and no matter how many times
they were tough.
And the players were it doesn't matter if I lose 100 games, I'm still gonna play Trolls, and now they're we're winning. We win games now. What? And it's nice. I love it.
They're playing other factions because their faction's good now, so they don't have an excuse for losing.
They don't have the crutch. Yeah, the loser crutch. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
So we'll segue this very cleanly and elegantly back into the Masters games.
Yeah.
Sure. Why
not? So Sunday I played against Conan round 1. So this was the same matchup we played the Friday. So Makeda 2 versus Baldwin, and he played it a lot better this time, but he kind of made a mistake. So the tables at Adepticon were really cool, but there's table we were playing on had this big fuck off forest in the middle, and turn 1, Malakarn ran into the forest and was like, your Vulcan must stay 13 inches away from me at all times. And there was 3 inches around him in the forest, so no one could see him. And so I can see the Vulcan, he can't see me. So I'm just standing in a forest I'm Malakarn! And I have a Swamp Gobber River Raider next to him within range to walk up and shoot the Vulcan. So I can -2 armor. And so I'm if your Vulcan ever walks to the middle of the table, it's dead. So he had to so it's top of 2, we're positioning. It goes to his bottom of 2, and he's well, I'm going to try to clear this right-hand zone. With this Vulcan, because the Vulcan needs to anti-healing the Soul Ward that's in the zone contesting, or else it just gets stay death through all the damage.
Doesn't have the volume. Yeah. I'm guessing this is just traditional Ass Mountain, right? Because Conan shifted onto Crucible Guard after he won Waffle Weekend, and then he's been doing pretty well with them as well, hasn't he?
Yeah. So the Vulcan walks up and is poo 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 poo, doesn't kill the Soul Ward because it's death 50 million behind a rune and all that stuff, and then flips the clock to me, and I'm well, this Vulcan's fucking dead.
Molik is licking his lips and going, sweet.
Yeah. So Tiberian walks up and clears the charge lane for Malakarn. Makeda goes up and feeds. I do the whole position all the models, and then the Gobber walks up, shoots the Vulcan, gets dragged over to it, and is all right, not Snake Eyes, misses the Vulcan. And I'm like, that's really fucking bad. Oh no. So I'm like staring at the table, and I'm just like, well, fuck. I think I just lost the game. I just gave up my whole army to take a Vulcan. I'm not taking the Vulcan. So, well, shit. What do I do? So I was like, all right, change of plans. We're just gonna clear all 3 zones, or I was clear the middle zone, the left zone, and kill the objective. So Malkarn goes in, and just like chops up a bunch of dudes, kills the objective. And like we score 3, and I like put my whole army on the back of the zone, and I'm like, Redeem's like in the middle between his army and Malkarn, but in stay death range. So I'm like, well, the Vulcan can walk over and get Redeem in the no healing aura, but once Redeem dismounts, he'll be out of the no healing aura.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I'm like, well, like, can you kill Redeem 7 times and then kill Malkarn? The answer was yes. He could do that, but he scored 0 points, so I scored 2.
Okay. Yeah.
I lost like my whole army, but I had enough left. Makeda like charged over. It was like got Pathfinder from like a Tycom. Was like woo, killed a bunch of dudes. But game 2 was against Keith Christensen.
Yeah, who's back? Like a bunch of the Muse guys are back with like a.
Oh,
really
yeah, that's a name we haven't heard for a while.
Yeah, well, you've just joined the Full Tilt guys, right? On the server. So we've been doing like scramblers. So Keith's playing. There's a bunch of like proper like of the old Muse guys all playing, which is nice to see. It's good. It's a good like multinational community all throwing stupid lists at each other. And yeah, so nice. It's good to see Keith get into events as well.
So he played Wormwood into Makeda too.
Yeah.
And the matchup went pretty much how I talked about the Wormwood Makeda 2 matchup goes, right? Like I run up, he runs up, he realizes that he can't put anything up in my threat ranges, and then backs up a little bit, and then realizes like, oh shit, that was a mistake, because now he's not threatening scenario. So then I back up, and I score 2, and he's like, well, I've lost this game, and then the game basically went from there. Yeah. I think like a key point in the matchup was like he basically was like, I'm just gonna push my whole army at you and feet, and like hopefully you don't kill everything. So Getterix like trampled over and was like, oh, I'm Getterix, and then my Kriya paralyzed him, and he was just like, oh, I'm sad Getterix. And my soul wards like were like aim, shoot the paralyzed Getterix, and like removed almost all his health because he had warped strength. So I was like dice plus a million, which is like
those poop guns are fucking
are
pretty meaty.
They're really hectic.
Highlight of OTC was I played against Cody DeMunn. He's an American player who made WTC this year, and he played Fiora 4 into me. And Fiora 4 has a rule where every turn and every time she casts Skorne, she gets a rage token. And rage tokens give her +1 strength.
Yeah.
So when I shot him with my soul ward, and I was like, "What's your strength?" And he was like,
"Shit, I'm on 4 tokens or something."
And he's like, "Oh, she's only like strength 7." I'm like, "No, you have like 17 tokens, my man." And he's like, "Oh fuck." I was like, "Yeah."
You've just been shot with the biggest shit cannon in existence.
Yeah, I was like, "You're strong as a mountain king. We put a hole in you."
Yeah, but sadly your armor is no mountain king.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's like a 15, 17 or something, right? So like after focus, I was like dice +7 or something. I was like, this is disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, I like how many casual like of those guns that the Skorne support just bring along by accident, and then you go suddenly that heavy's been killed by my support dudes.
So this is like super relevant in all the games I play, because like the flow of the game is like you're peace trading, right? So people send their heavies into my cats, and then I have dash, so my cats just like leave the heavy alone. They're like, bye, and like go do something else. and then the heavy's just standing there like, I'm Getterix, and you're like, I'm a laser eye beam support model, haha, and like you just like do like 15 damage to Getterix, and you're like, get off my table. Like his Getterix like took like 4 laser eye beam shots, and like with all the healing was on like 6 boxes. And then
Yeah,
like over
that could easily kill him with just a bit of sparking. That is nasty.
yeah, so he like the turn he like put Gedrix in to do stuff. Gedrix like killed like a model, and then like a cat killed Gedrix. Just like ah. I was like, all right, well that's done. But yeah, the game was good. Keith played it like he recovered fairly well. We were peace trading pretty well, but he just ran low on time and ended up having to make bad decisions because he was running low on time.
Yeah.
And he went for like a really low odds assassination and was just like, yeah, this is impossible with the time I have left. We like he conceded the game and then we rolled it out afterwards and he would have killed me, which is pretty funny. It's like he would have killed like a 6-camp Makeda or something. Like it was just like, okay, like he hit like 7 8s in a row or something. I was just like, okay, you got it. 7 7s in a row maybe. But like it was after he had clocked, so it didn't really matter. But then in the finals I played against Nate. And Nate had brought the if there is a pairing in Legion that is specifically shits on my pairing, that's what Nate played. It was rough. I don't know what like secret saw, like I don't know how he saw through the Matrix like he did, but like Lilith 3 savages Jalam. So like that's really bad for me. And Lilith 3 is still okay into Makeda 2 because she just like feeds stationaries my whole army. She doesn't kill anything, but like it's really obnoxious.
Yeah, stationary cats aren't doing anything.
Yeah, and like if that feat comes at like the bottom of 1, and she just like tramples forward feats and like stationaries my whole front row of stuff so it doesn't get into the zones, that's a really big problem.
Yeah.
So, and then Callus 1 has enough quantity and quality of attacks to get through Makeda 2 and Jalam because Dark Guidance is the counter to Jalam feat, right?
Yeah.
So that's I was like, well, like when I looked over and saw Nate had like basically won his game, and I like was like sitting there like, oh fuck, I'm in a bad matchup no matter what I do. Like this is gonna be fucking impossible. And I was like outside talking to Mike about it, and he's like, yeah, this sounds really bad for you. I'm like, yeah, it sounds really bad. So we got to the table, and I was like, well, I'm gonna drop Makeda 2 because it's the list I'm best with, and we'll see if I can work it out. And hopefully, I know the matchup better than he knows it, or I have like a better idea of how it plays.
Yeah.
And that's right. What ended up happening. He dropped Callus 1, I dropped Makeda 2, and the whole time I was like, if I win the roll to go first, then I can win this game. And then I lost the roll to go first, and I was like, fuck. So he's like, I choose to go first, and I was like, well, that's really bad for me. So we positioned, and then he was afraid that I would, on his feat turn, I would feat and like do like 40 attacks and kill his whole army through his feat. So he like feated defensively and like just to contest the zones. And I was like, well, that's really good for me because now I don't need to feat on his feat, so I get to save my feat for when I need to kill everything. So I like killed some shit that was contesting and like flipped the clock back. And the nature of how this impacted the game was I had a 20-minute clock advantage at every stage of the game.
Oh wow.
So there wasn't like because of like the nature of like me taking short turns and only because like so basically I decided since I was the bottom player, the way I would win the game is by going to turn 7. So all I had to do was make sure on turn 6 and 7 I could score 3 points total because he would never be able to score more than me. Because he'll never score my flag and he'll never clear a zone.
Yeah.
So the only points he can ever score is my objective and his flag. And he can't score his flag on my turn 7. So I will guarantee win the game if we go to 7. So I just like pushed my models, like models are on the edges of zones, and Tiberian, who can't be drugged by Hellmouths because he's a big chungus.
He's Tivis.
He's just like he threats 11, so the Blightbringer threats 10. So every turn, Tiberian just walked up to 10.1 away from the Blightbringer, and was just like, "Would you like to back up, sir?" And the Blightbringer's like, "All right, I'm backing up," and like kept scooting back outside of 11. And now the Blightbringer couldn't make it back into the zone. Because like the flag objective Hellmouth meant that
Yes.
the Blightbringer had nowhere he could move because I forced him to move back. So now I don't have now I can clear the zone at any point because the only things in the zone are like 6 warrior models. So I'm just like, well, when we get to turn 6, I'm going to score 4 points, and the game will be immediately over. And like, of course, like that's not what ended up happening, right? Like we just like rolled dice, we positioned, we rolled dice, we positioned, we traded, but I had a huge time advantage. So when I got to turn 6, and Nate was like, "Oh shit, he's the top of 6 player," and he realized like, "Oh, he can't win the game anymore." He was like, "Well, I have to go for an assassination," and it was like a 0.04% assassination. So he had like 2 minutes to play the last 2 turns of the game where he had to somehow magically score a bunch of points, which was impossible. So he just went for it, didn't get it, and the game ended. It was a well played game. I think he misread how the matchup would go.
Yeah.
And
You think if he'd have read that a little sooner, it's he had time to turn that around at say turn 3, or he needed to see that before feating.
Yeah, it had to be before feeding. The feat turn is the most important momentum in the matchup. So what he needed to do is he needed to surround his flag with like 3 rows of models so that I couldn't get within 4 of it. And that would give him the potentially, because like I can still probably like feat and like use cats and Malakarna stuff to dig deep. And then like repo into contest. So I don't think he'll ever stop me from contesting. But what he can do is force me to use a lot of attrition tools to do it. So basically the whole game, Malakarn was anchored from my objective and just kept walking over, killing the stuff contesting my flag, and then repoing 5 back out of the threat range of the models that would counterpunch him.
Mm-hmm.
So like I never had to commit models deep to clear my flag. And I never, I never lost, I lost tons of models, things died, but I never really lost the stuff that was contesting the zone, and never would. And on the left side, we were just having a fight, things were dying.
Yeah.
And
just slogging at each other.
Yeah, and so if he had feeded turn 2 and just pushed into me and been like, well, you're gonna feat and you're only going to kill 10 models or you're only going to kill 25 models or 20 models or whatever, because that's how many attacks you have, and half of those will be incubi. And I still have 40 models left after you do that, or 30 models left after you do that. Then I lose that game, and it's really fucking bad for me. But he played defensively in KG, and because he played KG, it allowed me to have a chance to win the game. Did you
talk with Nate about if he'd played the match before, like into at least like a similar Makeda list? Was he expecting to? Did you think he was just expecting to have to like take that brunt and then couldn't leverage his feet?
Yeah. So there's a thing in Warmachine where there's different kinds of players. Everyone approaches games differently, but a lot of people, if you give them an avenue to attack, they'll take it, right? Even if it's not a great attack, just because they just want to attack, they want to build a lead, whatever.
Yeah.
And a lot of good players will always play the defensive angle because they're used to people just taking bad attacks, right? And so this happened in almost every game I played, and I kind of talked about this before, where you threat so far with the list that people position defensively because you threat 18 inches. So they're like, oh, I'm going to position to deny good things. And then when you just back up to the edges of zones or just outside their threat range, you still project the threat way past them now. You threat even further because you moved up a little bit, but they don't threaten you still. So what do? Do they just continue to position defensively and then give up scenario?
Or do they leave the board? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the nature of how the matchup kind of plays. Is the Callous player's avenue to break that situation is feat. So you have to shove the Blightbringer up the table, shove all the guys up the table, and just create a binary game state where you're do you have the dice to get through this situation? And the truth of the situation is, Makeda can't get through 50 dudes that are turning into incubi and then also kill a Blightbringer. That's just not a thing that's happening.
Yeah.
So you kill some.
I think the telling thing is recognizing what you were saying earlier, that you've got you've counted 25 attacks on your side of the table.
Yep.
And realizing that means you kill 13 birds and 12 incubi if everything hits.
Yeah,
and you give up a lot of time and a lot of your resources to do it, and then they've got everything left.
And 13 birds you can come back from quite easily.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing about it is, if he had realized that and just been like, okay, here's a Blightbringer, here's all my shit wrapped around it. Next turn, this Blightbringer is going to kill a heavy and maybe the objective as well. And then, like, these things are going to kill all your cats, and, like, we're just going to, like, it's going to be miserable.
Mm.
I lose that game. Like, that matchup is really bad. But because the expectation of what would happen during it was so different, he also didn't understand how Stay Death would interact. So on top of 2, he brought in some ambushers after, like, shooting the cats with the Blightbringer, and was like, I'm going to kill a bunch of shit with these ambushers. And then he didn't kill any models, because I had 6 Stay Deaths.
All right.
And toughs and stuff, like just like the variants. And he was like, oh, I realize now how Stay Death works. And I was like, yep. Like, you're never going to kill anything like that. And I think a lot of people, the first time they experienced Stay Death, like similarly to the first time you experienced Old Martyrdom, when it was only like D3, wasn't a point.
D3, it wasn't D3 plus 1.
Yeah. Back then, when it was only D3, you really, like, you had to experience it to understand what would happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then see the first time that all interacted with the Menite Archons as well, and just kind of, you needed to see it in practice to really feel what it did.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that banks you the win though, and what was the trophy like, Matt? I didn't see any pictures. Was there like a?
1 second.
There we go.
Ah, very cool. Let's see what that is.
So every Adepticon event, Adepticon does the trophies for the event. So,
right.
Oh god, my camera's over there. So this is like,
that's very cool.
Oh, those are sweet.
Yeah, they're very heavy. And then, will it focus?
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, you
there we go.
Yes, that's cool.
Yeah, they're pretty neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I have a few sets of these now, so that's pretty cool.
That's some good flex there.
Yeah. Let me just put it back on the trophy shelf. But yeah, it's
I
the trophies are pretty cool.
I remember seeing that art. So that was like for the order of the Adepticon, right? I can remember the guy. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but yeah, when I started doing this channel, so like a year, just about a year ago, and I wasn't sure like what branding to have and what. I reached out to him and I was like, I was talking to him about whether he'd do me some artwork and that, and then I went for a much cheaper, easier option. But yeah, such is the nature, right? You don't want to spend like a lot of money on something you're only just starting. But yeah, I was wowed by his art. It was super cool. So that was nice to see. But yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see like proper chunky prizes for big events, right? Where
yeah, so the trophies are really cool. One of my big complaints with Warmachine has always been the prizes for like winning events always sucks ass. Like, I spend $1,000+ to go to this event. All I get is like a piece of wood with my name on it.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's some effort.
Well, come on. like I have, I don't know, I have 1 million first place trophies now. Like just a sheet of them. This isn't a brag thing. This is just like a statement of like, I have a ton of these trophies, and like the prize support I've gotten probably costs less than the trophies to get made.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that GW, or rather GW events, not necessarily the company themselves, do well is like you see all these events all over the country, all over the world, and they proper put like real big effort into like fancy awards and like prize support and stuff. And I guess we're super spoiled over here that the Welsh Masters was always like that. So you'd always have like a big trophy, and then you'd have like some sort of shield and thing for every country. So every country that had players go in, there'd be like a best in country to, as long as there was, I think it was like 5 players from that country go in. So they'd get that, and obviously then best in factions. In fact, you guys can't see me because I'm on the stream camera, but like I'll show up for the stream. So that's like just like prints, like all like 1 year it was just print of all men off things. So like you got one for like most CPs, most
very
APs,
cool,
best in factions, and it was all like themed, and they'd done that. So that was cool. That was I can't remember what year it was, but I went the year before, and I got like I don't know, like fucking shit. I got like 5 CPs over the entire event or something awful. So the next year I was like, right, I need to work on my scenario game, and I got the most CPs that year. So I got a little like plaque sort of thing, and then randomly won a ticket for the next year. That was good. I was on target to win like most CPs and most APs at the event. So I'd been knocked out, so I wasn't in the running to win. But I could have got those. And my last game, I was playing Lilith 2. I played into old Karchev 2, and I fucked up my order of activation, where I basically was just trying to kill Karchev and just end it. And I fucked it up, and I went with I somehow it was like the last game of like a long weekend, and I somehow ended up going with my War Spears before my Blightbringer, and obviously as soon as I started doing it, I was like, oh, what the fuck have I just done? It's too late now. So left Karchev on like 4 boxes. so lost the game. Obviously hadn't killed Karchev, so then just got tabled. So scored awfully for the last game. But it bumped me down to 50th, which meant I got a free ticket for the next year. And in the random raffle, I've got like a Celestial Fulcrum, a box of 3D trenches, the terrain trenches.
Oh right, yeah.
And I got like I don't know, like 3 or 4 blisters of other models. So I walked away with like 100 quid of prize support without winning. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And Marty used to give away an army every round. So every round, he just randomly draw one of the players, and it'd be like, here's basically an all-in-one army box, or a bundle of blisters and boxes together. Like, yeah, a little bit spoiled, but in a good way.
So, the coolest thing I've ever seen a convention or anything do for prize support was instead of trophies for each player, they had custom army trays made with the cons, or widget trays or whatever. I have a widget tray from one of the cons.
Yeah.
With like the cons logo and like first place, second place, third place on it, and like all the cool shit on it. And I was like, that is the best trophy that you could give to a competitive player. Like, fuck the model support, all that stuff. But like fuck this, like fuck these coins, all that shit. Fuck these like weird focus counters and shit, like whatever. Just like a model tray that's like, like as an example, like a Warfare Weekend model tray that's just like a Broken Egg model tray. It probably cost the convention like $100.
Yeah.
And like now that guy who gets that thing is now advertising your con everywhere he goes.
I was going to say, he's literally walking around going,
amazing.
This is what you can win if you come to this event.
Yeah, but no one does this. I don't know why. Like, so, one of my local guys is like a professional woodworker or something. I don't know. He makes shit. I don't know. And he made like a bunch of shit. Well, yeah. Better than being a meat wizard, I guess.
I know the meat wizards got you, man. They got you.
Yeah. So like, but he made like for like his steamrollers and stuff. And like the local like little bigger events we did, he made like cool dice trays and dice vaults and token trays and all that shit. And I was like, man, I'm sure if you just like put out a Facebook post and we're like, hey, I'm running a convention, I need 3 trays made of these specifications and I want them to look good and have these things on them, you could get them made for almost free.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sure.
Be a cool ass thing to do for your community, I guess.
I think
the price of 3 of whatever it is you're selling to have it advertised by the guys who are going around playing all over the country.
Yeah.
I think can't get better advertising.
Honorable mention for over here again is Blood and Oil. So it's not the sort of thing that you'll take to an event, but they've done every year is the bloodiest general, and the winner wins a weapon. So they have a full size, like it's not
That
steel,
is cool.
it's all like LARP stuff, right? So it's like foam and carbon fiber or things. But yeah, they have a full size whatever. It's like Gorshay's sword or Lola and. Yeah, and some years, I remember when Pat was still playing, it was like, well done, Pat Dunford, take that back on the train through central London. It's like awkward.
Yeah.
Walk through Victoria with a massive sword.
Yeah.
You know what? They probably won't even look at you twice.
Yeah, there's enough weirdos in London, right?
Yeah.
That is one of the weird things about winning cons you have to fly to, though, is I whatever con it was, maybe Lock and Load or something. I got like as prize support for doing whatever. I got like a giant army box, which is like really cool. It's like a $300 value. Like that's dope. But like,
how the fuck do I have to
like my bags are full. Like there's.
I had that flying down to Cape Town. I ended up winning. Oh God! So remember there was this was a GW thing back in the day. They did that whole sea ship thing. I can't remember the name of the game. I never played it. I've actually won 2 copies of it.
Dreadfleet.
Dreadfleet. That was it. It was Dreadfleet. I've got 2 boxes of it. Never used either. But there's both won at various cons. But again, you've now got this massive thing. It doesn't fit in your luggage, and you're flying back with this stupid thing.
Yeah, so you just mail it, right? Like you just go to like a UPS or whatever.
Yeah, this is in South Africa without really a functional postal system. I carried that stupid thing on hand luggage.
I just mailed my army box back. I like took it to the place.
That's cool.
Send it to this address, and they were like, "Okay, sir, yes, sir." I was very cool.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The modern world, I give you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But,
cool.
So
I wish cons did a little bit more with that. Like, this isn't like a slam against Adepticon or any of the other cons. It's just like, it does suck as like a competitive player to go to an event and you like win the event and then you go home with like a trophy that costs like $20 to get made and you're like, I just spent a weekend of my life and $1,500 to come to this event. Like I had a good time. Like I'm grateful I came and I'm going to be coming again. But like, it'd be cool if it was something like I could show off to people and be like, look at this cool thing you get.
Yeah, it would be nice to have something a little more tangible out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just like whether the locals to me, they ran an event called Capital City Bloodbath, and the winner got like a bottle opener with like their shit on it. And I was like, that's cool as fuck. Like that's exactly what I want. I want something that like is like cool as fuck. I don't like a trophy isn't cool as fuck. I want a
functional
set of
tool or something you'll use.
I mean, something like I don't know if you can see there. It's just a mug. It's just a coffee mug from Trollfest, and it's a nice little Warmachine print on it. Doesn't need anything else fancier. Like that's something cool.
Yeah, exactly. One of the cons out here used to give out cups, just like beer glasses, that were like laser etched with like shit on it. I don't know. I'm sure I have a mug, and I thought those were super cool. I was like, yeah, this is a great like. I'll always like if I had one of these, I'd use it. I mean, I still use mine, but yeah, like and like don't get me wrong, like the trophies from Adepticon are cool. They come in like cool boxes, and you have like the cool thing on them. But like, and like I got a cool poster too, so that's cool. I got like a cool Ashlyn DeLee's poster. Yeah, I think posters are good prize support. They're just impossible to travel back with.
Yeah. We had SmogCon was a thing over here. Like you'd play X amount of games and get like loot tokens essentially to trade in for all sorts. So I got an Iron Kingdom's messenger bag. Never fucking. I mean, I've used it to like carry like my laptop to like when I was at uni and stuff like that. But that's probably it. But yeah, you'd get like signed art prints and stuff like that. They had and lots of like cool like memorabilia for the game you wouldn't normally like be able to get your hands on, which was really sweet. And that's something that we've missed over here for like a long time now. Is like that big sort of con thing. But I know Dan Pedrick's bringing back. We've got in January. Is it January, Evan? You'll know this, right? End of January.
Yes, January.
Toucan. So his branding is a toucan. You know,
It's
big orange bill.
It's in two things.
But,
I don't know what. Is it like Warmachine only, or is it for like a bunch of games?
No, we're doing it as Warmachine only because we find it just sort of dwindles if you start splitting the player base between systems. We don't have a large enough we don't have a large enough following to get away with.
It's a good step towards
cons.
having like that style again, though, because SmogCon at its height was other games as well, right? Or was it just other games because of the venue?
At its height, it was Warmachine. It started dissipating once it mixed, or at least that's the reports I was getting. Yeah,
so that's fair. But yeah, it's really cool for us. So hopefully it goes well for Dan, and we'll get
What kind of
actual,
you guys have like
weekenders.
Do you guys actually have like a projection of how many people you expect at the con?
not a clue. It's early days.
I'm just going. I'm like just gonna be.
Well, I was sitting here like, if it's a bigger con, like I'll probably like at least look into flying over. But like,
yeah, I think is it in central London, Evan-ish?
It's South
Greater
Central,
London?
so it's in Tooting, so it's central-ish South London.
And then the venue's open until like 2 a.m. or something for games. Is that?
So
Does that sound right?
something like that. And there's a whole bunch. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of like decent places to kind of.
And then accommodation is limited on site. So you'd have to find accommodation nearby. But I think Dan's already sort of putting out a player pack where he's got like.
He's already sourced like 3 nearby places people can find accommodation.
Yeah, that's
reasonably priced.
Oh,
okay, cool.
Which is quite a lot of work to do for London. So well done.
Yeah. Oh fuck London. in and out as quickly as I can if I'm coming for sure. I can't stand.
It's the drawing card of the country, man.
Yeah, the cesspool.
Get over your hate.
The cesspool of the country.
Yeah. So WTC 2018, we stopped over in London on our way to Europe, and we were like, my girlfriend and I were like, yeah, let's go like explore, like have a good time, you know. And we go to get like on the bus, and the bus driver is just like, all right, you need your Pearl card, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Gosh.
Can I just give you money? And he's like, no, we don't accept money. Get off the bus. And I was like, whoa,
Wow.
my guy, like,
Yeah.
like I'm here to visit your country and experience culture, and like you just told me to fuck myself, like
You have experienced London culture.
yeah,
genuine.
like, whoa.
That's extreme. That's surprising.
I was just like, okay. So like, I called the number on the back of the bus and filed a complaint. But like,
Good.
Fuck this guy.
yeah, I was like, this guy in particular, I hope he loses his fucking job.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, like we just like ended up like basically just sitting in the hotel because getting a cab was like impossible. So we were
and staggeringly overpriced.
yeah. So we were just like, all right, well, London sucked. Everything about this place sucks. I never want to come here again. I see why America rebelled, and then we flew over to the rest of Europe, and we're like, oh, this is much better.
Yeah. I'm with you there,
My
Matt.
God. Oh man, we've fallen so low that we're painting Americans in a good light. God damn it.
Yeah, I was like, we had like, so like I get to like we order our food from the restaurant, and we get like I ordered like tandoori chicken or something. Like nothing like super fancy.
No. Oh god, food in London is a disaster.
Yeah. So like they bring it to me, and they bring me like the chicken, and then there's like a piece of white bread with some like green peas on top of it, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why is there like mushy green peas on a piece of white bread next to my Indian food? I don't understand. And so like I call the waiter and I'm like, hey, yo, where's like my like basmati rice or like naan?
Yeah.
And he just like he looked at me like I spit on his mother. He was just like, I don't know.
That's surprising. I mean, you'll get authentic food. They just Britishize it by systematically withdrawing the flavor. But typically you'll get the basmati rice or the saffron rice or the naan bread and variations.
I got mushy green peas and a piece of white bread with my tandoori.
Wow, you really got the best of British. God damn, they saw you coming a mile away.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this.
Dave Ricketts over in the chat saying next time you go to London, he'll show you where to go.
Okay.
I'm not sure what
Dave,
sort of
show
promise
me
that
where to
is.
go. I still can't find a decent bloody curry in
Yeah. One of the guys in the chats, Matt, is asked, what do you do for a living? I don't know if that's because I don't.
What do I do for? I mean, what do I do for a living? I work for a pharmaceutical company.
I'm guessing it's.
Oh, right. So then you deserved everything you got.
Yeah.
But not an American one. Or...
No. Canadian
fine.
pharmaceutical company.
Oh, very cool.
But I don't know. I like London as long as I can like leave it the same day. I guess. But I'm not English and I'm a country guy, so there's nothing. Yeah, I'll go for like a gig. I mean, I say I'll go for a gig. Like 20 years ago, I'd go for a gig in London and then leave. But,
yeah. Who you kidding? We're past the age of going for gigs.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty open to whatever. Like, it's fine. Like, I'll experience whatever culture. Like, I had the eggs on butter in Poland, and that was definitely an experience. I had some pickled. Yeah. It was really odd. But
did you experience the other special flavor that happened in Poland? Were you part of the Thursday? Were you part of the Thursday? Outing?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it was the Canadians that started that whole thing.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that was an absolute disaster. Unmitigated disaster in multiple ways.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad I turned up on Friday because I'd have probably been suckered in just as bad.
Yeah, after this, I'll send you some photos that will. So like.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So just for reference, I was like, we like started at the restaurant and we were like, yeah, like small 30 person party at a restaurant. We'll have a few drinks. It'll be relaxed. And then like people kept showing up and it was like, oh, we're up to like 60 people. Like this is an issue. And then the restaurant kicked us out. They were like, you all need to leave right now. And we're like, okay. Like, so they just kicked like 60 drunk people out onto the street. And we just like wandered through the streets of downtown through Poland and found like a vodka bar and we just drank it dry. Like we drank we drank all of it and people were like belligerent. It was wild.
Oh.
They were like throwing bottles and glasses and pissing their pants and vomiting and
I've definitely seen some pictures of people like just face planting doorways waking up in the morning and
there's people passed out in the street. I was pretty drunk initially. Like I drank a lot and then but I stopped and I was like, okay, this is like a good amount of like drunkenness. And as I watched like the like wave of alcohol pass over our 60 person party, I was like, oh no, I need to be sober immediately because we're gonna have to deal with like some shit. And a bunch of like the Australians and stuff just left. They were like, we're not dealing with this, and they just left. They went to like whatever clubs.
When the alcohol chases the Aussies out, you know you got a problem.
Yeah, they just left, and then they left like afterwards. It was just like a bunch of drunk people and like 3 sober people trying to like get them into cabs and like get them home and stuff.
Oh wow.
And I was one of the 3 sober people, and I'm not a responsible adult by any measure. But so like being like, yeah, Matt, like you have to get this person into a car and like get them back to the hotel. I couldn't even get myself in a car back to the hotel. Like that's just not. So like I'm just like holding one of my friends by the back of his jersey as he's just like precariously leaning over an umbrella stand about to impale his chest, and he's just like standing there like, I need another drink. I'm like, you don't need any more drinks. No. and then Bubba's over there like dead body firemen carrying people back to like hotels. Like he's like, oh, I got an Airbnb around the corner so we can have somewhere to stay tonight. So he's just like carrying people up to the hotel and throwing them in the hotel room.
Oh wow.
It was a wild experience. We had to bribe a cabbie like 400 zloty or whatever the Polish fund money is, and to take one of our people back to the hotel because he was too drunk.
Oh wow.
I definitely remember the zloty exchange was very nice for us all, I think.
Yeah, like
it was.
Once you got the Canadian dollar sucks. Right? Yeah, the Canadian dollar sucks, but in Poland, it's still great. You're like, all right, But yeah, never again. I never really drank it. I'm never gonna drink at WTC again after that weekend. That was a lesson learned. Never again.
I think my first
lesson.
my first WTC was in Belgium, and it was like we were doing like drinking games around the tables, and it was just like a merry level of happy drunk rather than oh my god, am I killing myself in poison?
Someone's going to end up in jail in the morning.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
yeah. Belgium was. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go, Matt. Go on. Sorry.
Belgium's just a good trip. Even if you're not going for WTC, just like for Solo Masters or just to hang out, like it is the trip I look forward to most in the year. And like Belgium's just a cool country. So. Yeah,
there's like there's for people like that want to take like significant others and family stuff. There's loads of stuff like within quite easy reach of Blankenberge, I think, from looking at it and like reading before. So that's really cool. And yeah, it's like a really nice the hotel. Like it's like a decent venue. The food was nice. I think there was. Were you saying last night there were some rooms though that were like saunas?
Oh yeah, man.
So hopefully that's. But it's October, right? It'll be fine, right? We'll be.
I mean, it was bad. We were in a room where like the players staged we unionized in that room specifically. The teams that were playing, we all like banded together and we're like, we're establishing NATO right here. Like we're just gonna not. I think we were playing the Scottish team and we were just like, we're not playing in this room anymore. And like we like complained and they were like, yeah, the hotel or whatever the venue was like, we can't turn on the air conditioning in that room. And we're like, okay. Well, I guess we'll play Rochambeau to decide like we'll sit down in the hall and play. I guess like it was rough.
Yeah,
it was bad.
Doesn't sound good. One of I'm doing the Welsh shirts at the moment, and one of the guys is like, "Could we have rugby jerseys instead?" I'm like, "Fuck no, that's an awful idea." Like you want as thin as thing you can get away with, right?
Yeah. Ideally, you wear no shirt.
Yeah.
The German jerseys, my first WTC, were very thick. And the reason I know this is because the captain of the team I played against took his jersey off and gave it to me. And it was
with like half his body weight in sweat. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was moist. It was like a towel that had been sitting in a bath. Like it was.
Oh,
it was rough.
wow.
I was like, thanks, dude. Like. I put it on. I was like, but yeah, it was fine.
Grim. I did all right in my first one. My captain had told me that he was organising the shirts, and he says, "Oh yeah, they're all a bit tight, so definitely order a size or two bigger than you normally would wear." And because I'm not in Wales, I didn't get my shirt until I turned up. And I put it on, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm wearing hockey tops for the weekend. It's fucking massive. But it meant I had these massive tops so I could trade with people. So I could trade with Corey, and I was like, oh, cool, I've got this Corey's normal size shirt. And a bunch of other people. I was like, that works. So they were good size to it. But
when is the Belgian Masters?
Yeah, Dave just said
it's in about
it's
5
happened.
weeks or 4 weeks.
Didn't it happen?
Oh no, sorry, Belgian Masters was about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's happened already. Yeah.
Sorry, it's Welsh Masters in about 5 weeks.
Welsh Masters in about 5 weeks. Belgian Masters is like the same time every year though, so I think they're running that.
Okay.
All
right.
February. You're playing time. February 2023.
All right. I'll see if I can make it happen.
Sometime. But yeah, that was really cool that they've just handed it. I think did Crix win? You went there, Dave. What won the event? I read it.
I think it was Crix just to upset us after we ranked Crix like right in the dumpster fires.
Yeah, it was Crix. There you go. Yeah, dumpster factions.
Yeah, I mean, turns out, the faction balance between each other is actually really close.
Yeah. Well, it's like what you were saying, right? That if someone says your X faction is shit, then people want to champion it. So by putting like a bunch of factions in the dumpster tier when we did it, what I like to think is we've elevated people's game to make them play better, right?
Trump level, like
I mean,
No,
it is, but it's really rude to point it out.
I've inspired people to be better with their faction that could have otherwise been
being a complete monster, I've inspired people to be better.
Yeah.
I did this for you.
Yeah, it's for the greater good, right? The greater good.
Yeah. That's a rough one. That's a rough one.
It's okay. I can spin it. I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm happy with my life choice.
I think the answer coming across here is you need to work on that sales pitch because it's not biting yet.
Right. So what you need to do is take a couple of drinks. We'll go out in Poland on a Friday. And,
oh Lord.
Soon enough it'll be
so no. So I'm bringing. So my plans for WTC this year is I'm going to bring like 80 jerseys with me. And I'm not gonna bring any shirts with me. I'm only gonna bring the jerseys, and the goal is to just trade enough jerseys away that I'll never have to buy clothes again.
The last one. So I'll go back to my shirts for a minute. This is how good. So I designed all the shirts for the Welsh team for the last couple of years, except for
I have.
Yeah, you got one
year.
Have you got it? Oh, cool. The shit ones were before me. So, but like I think my first year was we had like the black shirt with the red dragon scales on the sides.
Yep, I have that.
And then that was like and then what was it? We had like a
green Chromac one.
Yeah. So that year with the green Chromac is I put all the orders in, so everyone was like, I want this many shirts, this sizes, these teams. And then our order came in, and I had the fun time of opening everyone's orders and checking we had everything right. There you go, look at that.
There we go.
I did like a.
That's actually a really good looking shirt.
Yeah, I was really gutted that my captain chose
is that pronounced something like Is that pronounced like Weegapoo or something?
Caradog.
Look at how beautiful this jersey is.
It's just there's no ways it's Welsh and it's also phonetic. It's just not possible.
No,
this is also the only jersey I own that is big on me.
Who was that? That's Menoth. Is that was that from Matt maybe?
I don't remember.
I don't know. They'll have names on them. But yeah, anyway, so that run of jerseys, I took delivery and started opening them. And went through our team, which were the one with a striker art on the back, and they all had the wrong art on the back, and I was like,
nice.
Oh,
so I had like I think I had ordered like 4 or 5 shirts, and they were all wrong for me, and then everyone in our team. But like the company fixed it straight away. They're like, oh shit, yeah, you've definitely 100% been really clear. We'll just reprint with the right logo.
Send the extras.
So I went with like a dozen shirts to trade. So some of them had the wrong logo on the back, but I was like, well, I guess I'm just taking shirts. It was cool. So yeah, I came in with a lot of spare shirts that year, which was good.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's like a Pokemon game for me. Like I've just got to you got to get the good jerseys.
That's a good hint. So I got to rock up with at least with about a dozen shirts.
Yeah. The jersey trading at WTC is like the best. Last WTC, not last year. I really wanted the Team Japan jersey.
Oh yeah, I've got one.
Yeah, but there was no fat Japanese guys on that team.
No, there's a really tall guy. So on.
Yeah, but he's still thin.
Yeah, he's relatively thin. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's a little bit snug on me. I can't lie. But on the Friday we were playing against the Irish, and this guy comes around, stands next to me in his Grimkin Japan T-shirt with Daniel written on the back, and I'm like, this is meant to be, my friend. So we did. I was like, sweet. So go on, Matt. What were you saying about that?
Yeah, so I really wanted like a lot of the jerseys from the teams that we don't usually see at WTC.
Yeah.
But most of those countries don't have big fat guys, so it's kind of hard to get a jersey from them and then like be like, oh, I can't wear this. Like I got a Team Sweden jersey. I always get Sweden jerseys. Sweden's the best, and I could only wear like one of their jerseys because there was only one Swedish man who is the same size as me, and his mustache and beard are great, by the way. But yeah, the jersey trading is like the best thing at WTC. You get you set up the trades a little bit beforehand, right? So you're like, you get your favorites sorted out. You know who you're gonna trade with, and then you just bring like 6 spare jerseys,
Yeah.
and you're just like, I'm wheeling and dealing these. I will give you. Give you.
I've been hit up already this week by someone to go, are we trading shirts, right? And I'm like, yes, let's do it.
Nice.
But I'm definitely in the same boat as you. I wanted to get like the ones that we didn't normally see. So I pre-prepped one of the Malaysians, and I was like, sweet,
Yep.
I'll get a Malaysian one.
Their jerseys
They're
were
really
great.
cool. And then when we got there and tried to change it, I was like, your shirt size is not my shirt size. And they were like, oh yeah, it's because this is like Asian large or something. And I was like, no fucking way I'm fitting in that. so I had to convince one of the bigger guys to trade with me instead of the team. But no, it's pretty cool. I do love that shit.
Yeah. Jersey trading's great. Who is Waldalski in chat?
That's Wallace.
Waldo.
Wallace, one of the Welsh players.
Okay. What's up? Hi. So yeah, WTC is just great. Like, I could go to WTC, play no games, and have it be worth. It is the best. But like, I wish there was an affordable way to travel to the other part of the world, because I would love to do Belgian Masters and Welsh Masters, and I would just love to like. I mean, I think there's like a cool event somewhere else too that I would love to go to. But like, I'm not spending 10 G's on traveling to Europe. Like, it's just not.
Yeah, there's like Iron Moots are really like big one. Rhinecon. There's so many like big like cool sounding events that I get you definitely would want to go to. But even for us, right? It mounts so quickly, but it's like astronomically more for you lot over in North America. It's like.
Yeah, and like
even
going to
cons, a lottery win to do like a convention series. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, even doing cons here is really expensive.
Yeah.
Like, if I go to do a West Coast con, it's the same price as flying to Europe.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like when I do lock and load, as an example, when I did lock and load, it was like the flight itself was like $1,200, and I was just like, okay, well. Like, or like $900 plus tax, whatever. Like, I was just like, okay, and then the hotel's like insanely expensive because it's in Seattle, and you're just like, fuck. At least usually when you go to Europe, like the accommodations aren't insane. Like, they're not that bad, but
I mean, it tends to be how like the WTC venues are chosen. Like, they pick countries where accommodations. It's why WTC isn't hosted in London.
Yeah,
Well, it almost was, right? So the last Poland one, England put a bid in, and there was like I think the team captains had to vote on where they wanted to go, and it was between Poland again or England, and I think the English like committee or the English team putting together the bid were aiming at like Brighton, so you can fly into London, and then it's not as expensive.
That was a mistake.
And we were all like, "Sweet,
I love Brighton, but it's not cheap accommodation.
No, but it's cheaper than London, like significantly, right? And to find
there
a big,
many
a big
places
venue,
in the world that aren't.
Yeah, exactly right. It's not hard, but it'd be super interesting to see where the next one's going to potentially be.
It will be interesting.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, I mean, it'll depend. It'll depend how things work out in the world, I guess.
But there's like a bidding system, right, where people who want to be potential hosts put like their bid essentially towards the committee, who then organise it and then put it to the captains and see who's got the package, right? So it's not just based on cost, but obviously cost and like where it is, like how easy is it to get to, is going to be like a big factor. But,
I want to see a WTC hosted in Japan. Just make it prohibitively expensive for everyone to go.
Just fuck everyone.
Yeah, you guys all get to experience what we experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess hosted in Australia. That would be the.
That's about the same.
I think I'd prefer New Zealand, but like maybe that's just.
I mean, New Zealand is like a 1,000,000-hour flight. No, thank you. I will not attend.
Australia's no better.
Australia's only like 16 hours from me.
Australia's like it's 2 hours. I mean, New Zealand's like a 2 hour swim from Sydney. It can't be that much
easy
further.
easy peasy.
Yeah.
There's so much to look forward to. I'm super happy that WCC is back on. Like, it's like absolutely going to be this bonkers like social and event wise like culmination.
Yeah,
it's gonna be super cool.
It's just gonna be good to see people. And like I play a lot on Wartable, and it's great to like play with like a lot of international people and like talking to the people I only ever got to see at WTC, like Tomas and so on, was great. Like it's great to connect, but it's nothing quite like slapping butts at WTC.
Yeah, yeah, it's not quite the exquisite flesh experience. No, it's really cool. Cool. Well, I think we're probably due to wrap it up. We've just gone past 2 hours, so we will cut it off in a second. But yeah, Matt, thanks very much, man, for talking through your games, through the con experience, just generally talking about events being back right in WC. It's super cool to hear.
Yeah, I know you wanted to like me to talk Skorne, but like, who cares about the meta of the game? Let's just talk about how good it is to see people, right?
Yeah. I'm quite happy with every direction we take here. That works perfect.
No, it's good for me. Yeah, there was Skorne chat in there. There was Skorne chat. We got it. It's cool.
It was, and you heard it here first. People, stop crutching on Zal. It's not surprising anyone anymore. It's been 4 years.
And Kruger.
Move on. And Kruger's been evergreen for 10 years. It's not going to change. His lists have changed, but it's Kruger.
Yeah, you're saying. Cool. But yeah, thanks very much, Matt. Thanks for coming on, and everyone that's watching, thanks for joining us for the chat and stuff. And feed those social media gods and like and share and shit like that. And, we appreciate it. Yay! We appreciate it. Do it. Cool. Thank you very much. And this will go up on YouTube over the weekend, and I'll convert it to podcast format now, probably because it's 11 o'clock. And if you want to watch some real games, I'll probably stream maybe 2 or 3 real games tomorrow as well. So I will leave you with that.
Very cool.
And thanks, Matt, and thanks everyone as usual, buddy. Nice to see you all.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Good night, beautiful people. And we'll see you soon.